how we can save America, the psychology that's needed to save America. You can play a key role, and I've developed a philosophy, a psychology called goodness is strength that can save. And by you assisting me assisting you, you getting this training potential I'll talk about at the end, we together can save America through this psychology. So here's the psychology, and then we'll talk. So I'd like to share how I came to this psychology and what I perceive, what I see is really this terrific psychological challenge that's taking place in the United States and the world. And this really describes a lot of what's going on. So where people get more pitted against each other than they could be. You know, we have more commonality. And it came for me through I continue to say, I have this extraordinary story, both in terms of the roots. You know, you see that tree I had with goodness of strength. You know, the roots are deep. You know, I had very deep roots in Scranton, PA, 4 grandparents, parents, you know, really indoctrinating me with the philosophy of blood ain't mud and family's important. And, you know, there's a reason Joe Biden and other politicians clamor for Scranton. You know, the Scranton of its time was really a tough place, a good place. And I was born in the midst of all that. So I developed, you know, these deep roots. But that's just part of it. And then what happened, you know, 40 some years ago, is that there's cracks in those roots started to come. You know, I had a younger brother who just had a lot of, I guess, rages and, discombobulations from childhood. And he started to come at me like he lived 3,000 miles away. You know, but some people psychologically just believe, they're not whole unless they're attacking someone else. So, you know, I was always put out on the playing field of life. I was naive about people hating one another. You know, I just saw chess things, football things. That, you know, my parents would push me out there. And I just have to go out and compete. And so I didn't have time for extraneous hatred or, you know, jealousies with other people because I was just put out there. And that was the start of it. And then, so this whole family dynamic started to turn. You know, a lot of people see this through, you know, chosen ones, narcissism, empaths, all kinds of things that are out there in the culture now. And this came at me and see where it kind of really locked in is then, almost 30 years ago, my ex-wife, may she rest, she passed away peacefully in Oklahoma about 9 years ago. And she started this whole separation thing. And my family was using her as this is how vicious it got, was using her as a vehicle to come at me. So that, my family, and then the court system itself. You know, Elon Musk has talked about it, you know, the judiciary being tyranny, but, you know, I've seen these things at its roots again. I said, I had come from a civil rights background, so I see the roots of America's disruption. The title of this really should be about healing America. That's really what it reminds me. YouTube encourages me, you know, this song video I put together. I'll play some of it here about
of liberty and justice for all. Highly thought and yet noble when it's called. Criticism poses as strength. Anger pretends to be a goal. There is a hole in the American soul. We must repair that hole in American soul.
healing the soul of America. But that's what this is about too, healing America. So the point being, I saw the cracks between my brother and his wife, between my ex-wife and the divorce, and then the court system itself. There really is not functioning. The missing element is fairness. We've got corruption everywhere in this country, and we take it as acceptable, and it's not. Especially in our legal system, where people need to have fairness and equality, true equality. Everybody, race, color, creed, sexual identity, whatever. That includes white men and black women and transsexual, but it includes everyone has to have a similar standard, if not the same standard of fairness. And that's what my life's about a lot, fairness. So all these things came against me, and the long story short, the thing was that I stood and I took it on. That's what I'm getting on. So you got two forces really going at each other. These forces that wanted to tear me down and me refusing to be torn down. So we're standing toe to toe for like 29 years. I make lots of incremental progress, but little did I know the humongous nature of what I was taking on. So what also happens in the course of 20, when you're toe to toe with something like that, you grow and change a lot as a person. Determination in terms of, instead of stubbornness, learn respect. You get knocked down a lot. You got to get back up. And if you really want to change things, you've got to learn respectable and appropriate ways to make your point. I'm sorry, for me, going out there and stopping traffic and just holding signs and all. If you really want real change, and that's why my story has unfolded over 29 years, you've got to do very incremental work over an extended period and do it appropriately. So what I'm getting at too, and I want people to consider our coaching, training, and mediation. So you can do this work, get the training, move to a higher level. And what I'm really getting at is that I believe my work is about healing America, ultimately, to help people see that these negative forces. Let's stipulate, let's understand. Everybody wants money. We get it. Then that's what's like driving people cuckoo in a lot of ways, that everybody wants it. But let's recognize that and say it's not a bad, people want money. And let's say we've got to pursue it fairly. And that's where, with our societal champion training, people can develop their goals, their financial success, and help society. So that's what I'm saying, that, what I'm really looking for and who I'm speaking to is, if you're a person who says, I want my success and I want to help the great, America, I want to help the greater whole. Those are the people we need, people who are not so obsessed with their own success that they can't see the forest for the trees, the trees for the forest, as they say. And, we want people who can really help bring forth this goodness and strength. Philosophy, psychology, so take a look at my website as you like. My work is about healing and helping to turn the psychology of America. And I can't do it alone, I don't think. I may be nice. All you folks out there who do all kinds of great things, and on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, people need to collaborate. And for those who say, well, I'm doing something really good, but I'd like a little more purpose in what I'm doing, I'd like some meaning in what I'm doing, well, you may want to connect with me. And you may want to, find ways that we can help each other and this kind of thing. Because America, we've got to understand that we've got to reinsert true equality and fairness back in our core. Some of the sentiment of what Elon Musk is doing, it has some merit. You also have to understand, and where I do go by, I am known as the world's best mediator, is you have to have the people skills, the appropriateness, the courage and the gentleness to work with people and to understand the process of change. And we're not kind of overall seeing that element, that capacity take hold. So that's where my story can really, influence society to help us understand that our goodness is a strength, and that, we've got to think in terms of our whole. We've got to be healing. It's not enough to have one side or another. It's getting crazy to think that 50% or 51% is going to like control America and do everything. We need conversations that include 70%, 80% about repairing inner cities, about building schools, all this kind of, getting our roads and bridges in shape. Oh, let's get a strong America from the inside out. So that's what I'm doing, repairing America's soul.